ज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंसा श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं सावधैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, thank you so much for coming here in the class, and thank you so much for giving me chance to speak on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Today we are going to read from chapter 3, verse 15. So please repeat after me. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्मा नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्। Translation. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Purport. Yagnartha karma, or the necessity of work for the satisfaction of Krishna only, is more expressively stated in this verse. If we have to work for the satisfaction of Yajna Purusha, Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahman, or the transcendental Vedas. The Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. Anything performed without the direction of the Vedas is called vikarma, or unauthorized or sinful work. Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reaction of work, as one has to work in ordinary life by the direction of the state. One similarly has to work under the direction of the supreme state of the Lord. Such directions in the Vedas are directly manifested from the breathing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said, Asya mahato bhutasya nisvasitam itadhyadrak vedo yajurveda samavedo atharvan grisaha. The four Vedas, namely the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda and Atharva Veda, all are emanations from the breathing of the great personality of Godhead. The Lord, being omnipotent, can speak by breathing air, for as it is confirmed in Brahma Samhita, the Lord has the omnipotence to perform through each of his senses the action of all other senses. In other words, the Lord can speak through his breathing, and he can impregnate by his eyes. In fact, it is said that he glanced over the material nature and thus fathered all living entities. After creating or impregnating the conditioned souls into the womb of material nature, he gave his direction in the Vedic wisdom as to how such conditioned souls can return home back to Godhead. We should always remember that conditioned souls in material nature are all eager for material enjoyment. But the Vedic directions are so made that one can satisfy one's perverted desires, then return to Godhead. Having finished his so-called enjoyment, it is a chance for the conditioned soul to attain liberation. Therefore, the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yagna by performing Krishna consciousness. Even those who have not followed the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness, and that will take the place of performance of Vedic yajnas or karmas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading Bhagavad Gita at the most auspicious place in Sri Vrindavan Dham, and we are reading the most knowledgeable and controversial chapters, the Karma Yogas, which lead us to do what is being said in the scriptures. It describes like we have to do karmas in such a manner that we will not get anything back. It's been described like karmas are in three categories: karma, akarma and vikarma. Here, vikarma has been mentioned as the sinful activities. Those who perform the activities outside Vedic injunctions are vikarmas, and akarmas are those activities which give you no result. So, here, Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, we should understand what is Vedas. Vedas are the transcendental trove containing spiritual knowledge which is complete in itself, and it gives the all four Purusharthas in completion. Now, what are the four Purusharthas? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So, Vedas are being decided in such a manner that they help every individual to complete all these four Purusharthas. When we talk about the Vedas, Vedas are divided into two main categories. One is Shruti and another one is Smriti. Here Krishna has mentioned about the Shruti Gyan, the one which is been heard. So Shruti is Rigved, Samved, Yajurved and Atharvaved. Now, here Rigved is the oldest Ved available with us, and Rigved contains the Sanskrit hymns. These are the basic all prayers that we offer to the nature god. Nature god is sun god, Agni, Varun, Vayu. So all these prayers are being contained into Rigveda. Rigveda is being incorporated by the 7 sages, and these 7 sages were Saptarishi and the Brahma Rishis. Who are they? Atri, Kashyap, Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Jamadagni, Gautama and Bharadwaj. These are the 7 Brahma Rishis, and they have given all these mantras. If I have to say in one line, what is Rig Veda? So Rig Veda is book of mantras. That is a simple understanding. Rig Veda is a book of mantras which are having all different mantras to worship all nature god. So in earlier times, all this knowledge used to be passed down from one generation to another orally. That is why the Shruti was considered the topmost. Guru will give you all the knowledge and you have to keep on reciting it, and you will pass on to the another generation. So the Shruti Gyan is this Rig Veda. Then comes which one? Samveda. Samveda is a book of chant. It is connected with the Rig Veda. all the shlokas, mantras are being mentioned into Rig Veda, but the tempo of recitation, how you're going to get benefit of these mantras, is given into Sam Veda. Sam Veda connects you with the higher energies with sound vibrations. Even today also we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. We are taking benefit of sound vibrations. Krishna is present in Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Same way, all these 7 rishis have done all their tapasya and had made few of the mantras to achieve the higher purpose of life. But the twist comes here that you have to recite them with the specific tempo, vibration and pitch. You can't just say it and can achieve the higher realization or the benefit out of the Rig Veda. So Sam Veda deals with the topmost way of reciting mantras. So if I have to short it and you have to make it understand, then Rig Veda is the knowledge and Sam Veda is the realization. To make it more simpler to understand, Rig Veda is the wife and Sam Veda is the husband, because Rig Veda is having the all knowledge and husband keep realizing that, oh, my wife is having all knowledge, to the lighter side of it. So Rig Veda deal with the mantras and Sam Veda with its recitation. Then come Yajur Veda. This to be one line, the book of rituals that has to be performed by the Grihasthas. All ritual worship is incorporated in where? Yajur Veda. All ritual, how you will recite it, how you will find the land for the sacrifice, how will you see this has to be done at this time. All fire sacrifice and different sacrifice are being incorporated in Yajur Veda. Then come Atharva Veda. This is the book of spell, charm. And the way if we say it onto the level of intellect, writing, there is very less connection with the Rig Veda of Atharva Veda. To achieve different things, people used to use these charms and spells. It's more about Kamana Siddhi, because in 4 Purusharthas we are also considering Kama. So Kama Siddhi, people used to have Atharva Veda. The language is simpler, which infuses a different experience altogether. It has incantations for everything from success in love to happy married life and to realization of other worldly entities. So Atharva Veda is with spells and the charms. So when you see this Vedic knowledge as per Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda, it's not that easy to understand. It's not easy to get the higher realization through this. We can understand it with an example, like if we have to reach the 18th floor. So there is 2 options available. You have to use the staircase and you have a elevator or lift. So what we will use? 99.9% people will use elevators or lift. Why so? Because it saves the time, energy. And in Kali Yuga we are short with time and energy. We are having very limited time to achieve the self-realization, spirituality, and to go back home, back to Godhead. So we are not into more of experimental zone. We don't want to waste our life experimenting here and there. Srila Prabhupada has given wonderful movement, ISKCON, where we can realize all these things without going into different hassles. So you will use elevator, lift to reach the 18th floor. That is what Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Srimad Bhagavatam does to all of us. Easy way. But there is also a long cut. It's your wish. You want to take a shortcut or a long cut. Long cut will also lead you toward the same destination. but you may be lost in between. In the sense, you will feel so tired. Oh, I don't want to reach there. It's too far. I don't want to go more up steps. 18th floor is too much for me. You may start from first floor to second floor, but you may never reach to the 18th floor. That is what Vedas is. Even though they will take you to the same destination, but for the Kali Yugis, for all of us, the shortcut is here in this moment. ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada has given. This morning I was hearing and reading some of the lectures of Srila Prabhupada. There he has mentioned something about Arjuna. Like Arjuna was neither a Brahmana or a sannyasi or a brahmachari. He was a man engaged into household life. He was a political person. He was surrounded by his family and friends. Then also Krishna accepted him to give him the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Why? Because the one who is engaged in devotional service, Krishna doesn't consider from where you are coming. It doesn't make any difference to Krishna. One who is engaged in the service of Krishna is already onto the platform of a Brahman. To become a devotee, there is nothing that depends upon the material division of life. But in Vedas, they do have material divisions. Only Brahmanas can do this thing. Only brahmacharis can do this thing. And only sannyasis can do this thing. Only vanprasthis can do this thing. So there were divisions. There were divisions in the sense like when we talk about the Vedas are further been categorized into Samhita. Samhita is for the brahmacharis only. There are the mantras that has to be recited by only brahmachari people. Then they have brahmanas. Then again it with the rituals of day-to-day worship of the Lordship that has to be done by the grihastha only. Then they have aranyakas. That is the philosophical aspect of these Vedas that can be taken up only by the vanprasthi. Then come Upanishads, that the philosophical text to be taken care only by sannyasi. So first it is itself complicated, the Vedas. Then there have the division, who will follow what. So things become more complicated. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has accepted Arjuna, even though he is not a Brahmana, he is not a sannyasi or a vanprasthi. So this way we can understand everything has come from Krishna. We have to connect on a right manner. The Vedas have also come from Krishna itself, from his breath. And Veda Vyasa has penned down all these things, and he is a literary expansion of Lord Shri Krishna. Shakya Vesh Avatar. So those who follow Krishna consciousness, the all four Purusharthas get fulfilled. It's not like we are not following Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, Atharva Ved, so we will be devoid of something. No. We will get everything and very easily. Because the process is sublime. What Srila Prabhupada has given, this is a sublime process. So, here it's mentioned, Lord is omnipotent. He can perform, his senses can perform all the acts. Like he is not limited, like he can hear only from ear, he can eat only from mouth. When we are saying our prayers, oh Krishna, please come and take this offering. So Krishna is hearing and he is eating from his ear. That is the quality of Krishna. He is not limited, he is unlimited. And Krishna is making us also understand that when we follow Krishna, we become dutiful. When we read Bhagavad Gita, we become dutiful. These all three chapters, chapter 3rd, 4th, 5th, all talks about Karma Yoga at different level. If you understand Karma Yoga, that is really something very great, because you know, if I'll do something, I'll get this karma, I will get this effect. That is why Karma Yoga is been mentioned in detail. 3 chapters have been taken care of this same topic. People tend to forget their duties, but they remember to claim their right. This is my right, but I forget my duty. That is the biggest problem of all around the world, that we forget our duties and we are ready to claim this is my right, this is my thing. But where have you performed your duties properly? So these chapters are preparing us to perform our duty and surrender everything to Krishna. In every action you should think that Krishna is watching me. If we think in that way, I think our sinful activities will reduce. Because we think no one is watching me, let me do it. Who's gonna get to know that I have done this sin? But remember, Krishna is your closest friend. He is sitting within your heart as Paramatma. He is watching everything. When you are alone, you are not alone, you are with Krishna. You are with Paramatma. So before claiming your rights, you should think of your duties. What is your duty? Being a human being. So, what is the most important duty for all of us? Jivere Swarup hoy Krishnere Nitya Das. We all are the servant of Krishna. And the duty is to remember Him and never forget Him. Always remember Krishna, never forget Him. This is the basic duty. That is why we chant, that is why we read, that is why we associate with devotees, to remember Him. Just to remember Krishna is, we have made it so difficult actually. It's not that difficult to remember somebody 24/7, every moment. To do that thing, we are doing so many activities, eating prasadam, coming to temple, hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, just to achieve one purpose: remember Krishna, never forget Him. So this is the duty. These all prapanchas are to prepare us to reach up to the level where you will never forget Krishna. So Ved Vyasa, coming back to Ved Vyasa, who has written all the 4 Vedas here, we have, Srila Prabhupada have written here. Even after writing immensely, he was not satisfied. He was thinking, there's something missing. What I have done wrong? Why I am not happy? Even though I have given years in writing all these volumes of things. Then Narada Muni came and he inquired. Vedavyasa inquired why I am not happy, even though I have done a very wonderful work where human can achieve the all 4 Purusharthas. Everything is mentioned. Then Narada Muni said, you have not written anything about Krishna, about His name, about His pastime, about His devotees. Naam, Rupa, Guna, Leela. You have missed all these. That is why even after writing such a wonderful work, you are not satisfied. Then Vedavyasa started writing about Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam we see so many stories of Krishna. So for whosoever the stories of Krishna pleases every individual soul, from child to the old age person, from a woman, men, whosoever, rich, poor, Krishna's stories are so enchanting. Then when he has written all these, he said, yes, now I feel that happiness. So for all of us also, to feel that happiness, you should be connected with Krishna. These are some of the test points for your own self. If you are happy, you are with Krishna. If you are not happy, you are with Maya. Simple. Because Krishna is full of pleasure. If you are associating with him, even in few percentage, you will be happy. And if you are with Maya, you will be always unhappy. This is the realization of Veda Vyasa. What to say about all of us? Veda Vyasa suffered the same problem. He was not happy even achieving everything. Even the one who have written something must have realized it first, no? Because this is a Shruti Gyan. Then comes the Smriti Gyan. That I was mentioned in the beginning of this, that this has been divided into two. Shruti, the all four, these Vedas, and another one is Smriti. So this Smriti Gyan comes into Itihasas, Puranas, Griha Sutras, Veda Angas, Dharma Shastras, and Prasthana Vakya. Prasthana Vakya includes all Brahma Sutras. Dharma Shastra is Manu Samhita. The Indian constitution is been derived from Manu Samhita. Most of its part, Manu Samhita. This is a law book. Veda Angas are having it's Jyotish Vidya and some of the part of Sanskrit grammar. These are being included in Veda Angas. And Griha Sutras are for her Grihastha life. So that you will not become a Graha Medhi, you will become a Grihastha. There is a difference between a Graha Medhi and a Grihastha. Graha Medhi is the one who works like a donkey without considering anything. He just want to satisfy his senses, just want to earn some money with doing all the pap karmas. He is a Graha Medhi. Grihastha is the one who takes care of the family with higher realization, continuing his spiritual life, understanding what to be done and what should not be done. So the Griha Sutras include all this knowledge with daily ritualistic worship. Puranas we know, Vishnu Purana, all this Purana comes into Purana and Itihasa, Ramayana and Mahabharata. So Itihasa includes all these. So Shruti and Smriti are being divided in such a way. When we talk about the Itihasa, Ramayana and Mahabharata contains Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So some people say Srimad Bhagavad Gita is Smriti Gyan, but actually it's Shruti and Smriti both, because it's been heard and remembered. When Krishna said this Bhagavad Gita onto the battlefield, that time it's been heard and then remembered. So for us, that is why this is something we should relish daily. You will find every day something new from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is guiding us. This is a rule book. We should daily read Bhagavad Gita and make it a mark that I will learn something out of it. It's not just a ritualistic reading. Find out something and imbibe that quality within you. That is why Srila Prabhupada has given us in such a easy manner that we can take out something out of it. So when we talk about, I would like to add one story also in comparison to the Vedas and what we are doing, the Prema Bhakti. We are onto the path of Prema Bhakti, and the Vedas are the headstrong, specified thing that has to be done with this way, that way. But Prema Bhakti is all about loving Krishna and respecting his devotees. So there is a story. I think you all must have heard it, because this is a very popular one and very heart-touching one. This is one of my favorite stories. So, long time back, one time Narada Muni, the transcendental spaceman, was traveling from here to there. He reached onto the earth, Bhumi Lok, and here he saw one mystic yogi, and he was like very good into all recitation, all gyan bhav. He know everything. He is just perfect. So Narada Muni visited him. He offered Narada Muni asana, and he done his some small puja offering. Everything he done to Narada Muni with very sophisticated manner. Narada Muni was happy, and then Narada Muni said, "I'm going back to Lord Narayana. Would you like to ask him anything?" He said, "Yes, very much. When you are going back to Narayana, ask him, I am done with everything. I have learned all the Brahma Sutras. I have learned all the Vedantic knowledge. I have done the Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. Everything I have completed. Now, when I am going to get liberated, when Krishna is going to take me to him, ask this question." Narada Muni said, "Okay, I will get back to you soon when I will be back to Bhumi Lok." So then, passing by, Narada Muni saw one cobbler, Mochi. Narada Muni saw he was absorbed in chanting, thinking of Krishna. When he was remembering Krishna, tears were rolling on his cheek. And that too, he was just nailing in the shoes, and he was remembering Krishna. Narada Muni was astonished. He again took a break, went to that cobbler's place and asked him, "Who are you?" He said, "I am just a poor cobbler. Please have a seat." He had nothing to offer great to the Narada Muni. He just cleaned some small place and made him sit there. And he was asking about Krishna. He has so many queries to inquire about Lord Sri Hari. And Narada informed him, "I'm going back to him. Would you like to ask anything?" He was so much absorbed in talking about the Lord that it was like nothing mattered to him. Again, Narada Muni said, "I'm going back to Lord Narayana. Would you like to ask him anything?" He said, "Okay. Well, I know I am a sinful person. I am a cobbler who is dealing with the flesh of dead animals and making shoes out of it. I am a sinful person, but I love him so much." "Okay, just ask him. I know after millions of years after, and just ask him when he's going to take me back. Even though I know I am a sinful and it will take millions of years for me to go back." Narada Muni said, "Okay." Then Narada Muni went back to Vaikuntha, and Lord Narayana was there. And Narada Muni inquired about the questions of both the mystic yogi and the cobbler. So Lord Narayana said, "The chances of the mystic yogi returning back to me is 0. He will take millions of lifetime, and the cobbler is going to come back to me within this lifetime." Narada Muni was shocked. I mean, how Krishna, how Narayana, you are deciding this? He knows everything. He is reciting beautifully. He is doing all Agnihotra Yagnas. Everything is just perfect, more than perfect actually. Then Krishna said, "Okay, then you want to understand why I am giving you this answer?" Narada Muni said, "Yes, very much. I want to know." Then Lord Sri Hari said, "When you are going to back to them, just tell them that when they will ask to you what I was doing there in Vaikuntha, tell them I was passing an elephant from the eye of a needle, and you will get your answer." And Narada Muni said, "Really?" Lord Narayana said, "Yes. please do this when you go back to these people. So Narad Muni went down to Bhumi Loka. He first saw the mystic yogi. Mystic yogi was very much puffed up. Welcomed Narada Muni again with all pomp and show, and then inquired about his question. Narada Muni said, Lord Sri Hari, Narayana said, you will not going to come back to him. You will take millions of lifetime. He was shocked. And he said, I think you have not went to Vaikuntha. You are just saying it like this way. You really went there? He said, I don't lie actually. I really visited Narayana. And you are doubting on me that I am lying to you? No, really. So he said, yes. Then he inquired what the Lord was doing when you were there in Vaikuntha. Then he said he was passing an elephant from the eye of a needle. Then he said, oh, please don't lie, Narada Muni, this is impossible. So you have not visited him and you are just making all these fake stories. I know I am going back to him because I have fulfilled everything. So Narada Muni was astonished again. First he is doubting the Narada Muni, then he is doubting Lord Narayana himself. So he got to know. Then he went to the next person, the cobbler. When he went to the cobbler again, cobbler offered him a place to sit and inquired about, how are you Narada, how is my Lord, and everything all good to him and this and that. Then he said, you asked me one question, when are you going to back home? He said, yeah, I do ask you this question, Narada Muni. Then he said, Lord Sri Narayan is telling that you are going to back home within this lifetime. He started jumping. He said, really? But I am such a sinful person. I don't know anything. But he then asked Narada Muni what Lord Narayan was doing when you visited him, because I know he keeps on doing beautiful pastime. I just wanted to know what he was doing when you visited him, how he was looking, what he was wearing. So Narada Muni replied, well, your Sriman Narayan was passing elephant from the eye of a needle. He became more jubilant and started laughing and jumping, and he said, wow, he can do just anything. Wow, my Narayana is so loving, he can do just anything. This is his Leela. Such a wonderful Leelas he keep on doing. And he was so happy to hear. And Narada Muni said, you believe what I said to you? Do you really believe it? And he said, yes, I believe you. Narada Muni, I believe you. He said, is it possible to pass an elephant from an eye of a needle? Then cobbler said, yes, for Narayana everything is possible. He can do anything. He is my great Lord. He can do anything. And this is one of his beautiful Leela, and I am relishing it. And again tears were rolling out of his eye, and he was very happy. And he said to Narada Muni, the cobbler said, Narada Muni, when my sweet Lord can keep a big tree into a small seed, then why can't he pass an elephant from an eye of a needle? That time Narada Muni understood that why Lord Narayana has said this, that cobbler is going to come back to me in this lifetime, and the mystic yogi will take millions of years. So the question is why? And the answer is trust. Trust in the Lord, in His name, in His pastimes. Love to the Lord, to His name and to His pastimes. These are all things were there present in the illiterate cobbler. But the literate aristocrat, mystic yogi, was thinking with his brain, with his all knowledge. we were doing all calculation. This is possible and this is not possible. But for the Lord, everything is possible. So here it comes with the Vedas. Veda, again something very good, no doubt, but difficult task. It may make you a puffed up person, but when you serve Krishna, when you serve his devotees, you become humble. When you love somebody, you care for everything. That is natural phenomena. But when you want to achieve something from someone, you are in different mood. Is it not? When we are into love with someone, we just want to serve them, make them happy. This is the same. This Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, this our movement is all about loving Krishna, loving his devotee, respecting his devotees, so that this relationship can become more sweet. If you want to achieve Krishna, love him, very easy. If you want to become a Siddha yogi, then you will take years and years, then also there is no guarantee. So Srila Prabhupada has given this shortcut to us, this elevator, this lift to all of us. We should take best use out of it. This is our intelligence. Or you keep on taking step after step to reach the 18th floor. You will get tired in between. You will lose the purpose of your life. Here, you can do all which has been required from in whichever one or ashram you are. You can keep on doing that and keep on doing your bhakti. It's very simple. As a woman, you can do your household things, you can cook, take care of the kids, husband, family, and you can chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra while cooking. You can read Bhagavad Gita sitting in the evening, and your kids will also relish the stories of Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Krishna book. So you are not devoid of anything. We are more than happy people actually. Hare Krishna people are happy people. We are happy people because we have Krishna, the all attractive, the all powerful, the most handsome Krishna. But where are we getting entangled? That we have to find. And nobody will find it for you. You have to find in yourself. Where are you getting entangled? Even after doing all these things year after year, year after year. So this beautiful verse has given a lot knowledge to all of us. Hope we will take some benefit out of it. And I certainly don't have the caliber or necessity worth to say something of Srimad Bhagavad Gita or to throw some light over it, because it actually illuminates the entire world, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. But then also, I thank you all to be here and given me a chance to say a few words. Hare Krishna. Some questions, comments?
You mentioned wonderful class, beyond class. You mentioned that Shruti is the big Samyajna Tara. Big being knowledge, realization, Yajna rituals.
Yes.
What is Tara?
Rituals for all the sacrifices.
So Yajna is for rituals also?
Yes.
And the Tara is rituals for all the sacrifices?
Yajur is all the rituals. Atharva is the spell and the charms to get the Kamana Siddhi, to get a love, good wife, and to also land into different dimensions of different world altogether. Atharva Veda.
Can you explain that again? It's not pretty dull. The spell and the charms for what?
Atharva Veda.
Yeah.
For the Kamana Siddhi, to fulfill your desires. To fulfill your desires, material desires. Atharva Veda deals with most of the material desires, and also to realize things which are beyond this world. To land in Swargaloka and some higher planetary system. These are things also been mentioned, but things are still restricted to material sense gratification. Yes. Yes.
What is your source for this information regarding this place?
This I have read from the book, some Tamil literatures. Tamil literatures. They have given some short introduction of all the Vedas from.
Where is that book?
This is from South India. Yes.
It's not from Prabhupada.
It's, yeah, this has been mentioned here also, but I have taken few very small, like precise forms of that to elaborate it, to understand it in an easy manner. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You mentioned in the beginning there are three karmas, three types of karma. Karma, akarma, and vikarma. So you told about vikarma, Prabhupada is also writing.
Yes.
Then you told about karma, akarma.
Akarma.
So will you please tell something about this?
Akarma is the karma which will not give you anything in return, in the sense you will not get anything good or bad. If you offer everything to Krishna, everything becomes akarma. Even if you will keep on collecting good karmas, then also you have to take a birth in a rich family, in an opulent surrounding, everything. But akarma means nullifying everything, no good, no bad. So if I will do something and offer it to Krishna, it will become akarma, which will not give me any result. Like we offer anything to Krishna and we eat prasadam. We do some work and we say, Krishna, this is onto your lotus feet. I don't want to take the credit of it. When we actually thinking in this way, that karma is becoming a karma, which will not give me good or bad. Until unless your balance is zero, you cannot, achieve that what we are born to achieve. Good also you have to again come. That is why here Srila Prabhupada has taught us to give and offer everything to Krishna. All our endeavors, all our good things, food, everything, money, everything has to be in the service of Krishna, so that we will not take anything back. That becomes a karma. Hare Krishna.
And lastly, you said that last you have to find out where you are attending.
Yes. Yes.
How is that like in that sense?
See, every individual is having individual journey. My journey is different, your journey is different, Mataji's journey is different, Prabhuji's journey is different, but destination is same. So when you have to reach one point, but you are not able to reach that place, you have to find, you have to pen things down. I am here past so many years, still I am struggling from these many anarthas. You will find where you're being entangled. When you get that entangled, then you approach some senior devotee who will show you the path to get out of it. The Guru Maharaj or the good devotees surrounding you will help you out. That is why we associate actually, to help each other to get out of, from this entanglement. Somebody will tell you some good point that will strike you and you will start following it. Sometimes what happens, it's my own realization. Even after hearing same thing 100 times, it strikes you on 101 time. Because a person who is giving you is very important. The one who gives you, like Srila Prabhupada, the way he has given us, it is so impactful to all of us. Because it's coming from a pure devotee. So you have to be very careful about from whom you are taking. Because when you are taking even a glass of water, it's giving you the karmas. The karmas for yourself, karmas for those who are attached with you. It will be passed on. So we have to be very careful dealing with all these things. Find your own entanglement and try to get out of it. We all are endeavoring.
The last thing in the story is Cowgirl story. We had butterfly. I just want to you will understand now. When looks like the Narad Muni doesn't know that who is pure devotee, who is not.
Yeah, Narada Muni is not less. He is also like his loving Lord Narayana. Like he also relished the pastimes. Yes. Devotees also do sometimes these kind of things to make things more dramatic. So maybe he is making things more dramatic to relish all these things. Who knows? He is the associate of Lord Narayana and is a transcendental space person. Hare Krishna.
Just like the yogis, the example, we also sometimes we speak very nice, we preach very nicely. Is that we are practicing? We have to see. Hearing is very important to say.
Yes.
So what we are hearing, we should see. Sometimes we hear something and take a meaning, different meaning. So the things which we are just like yogi, or we have to be just like a toddler who is having 100% faith in Krishna. That whatever I will do, Krishna is there to take care of me. Yesterday I was reading the Bhagavad Gita also. There are some verses. I am doing everything. Whatever you do, I am sanctioning, I am.
Yes, he is. Yes.
So that faith you should have in that. It's just like we are preaching everybody everything, but before preaching also we should practice ourselves also. Whatever we are speaking, we should practice that. Whatever we are saying, and whatever we heard from Prabhupada, we have to follow this one. But sometimes Prabhupada said, whatever I am giving, do that. Do not add that, do not minus that. And so many times we are doing it. So many times I have got this point to each and every one. But each and every one they want to do it on their own.
Everyone is having their own understanding, their background, and their moral values. You can't change people overnight. It takes years and years.
But as a devotee, you can understand the hearing is very important.
We all understand that. We all do that. But we are not going to get benefit out of it. Why? Again, this is a problem in our way of perceiving things. We are not taking it that way. It's very simple. To love Krishna is very simple. A child can love Krishna. But as we are big people in the sense we have done our education, schooling, college. We know much more than a child. That is what hindering loving Krishna. Too much of knowledge also hinders in loving and surrendering Krishna. Because then your Tarka Shakti will come in between. You will start finding, this is this way, this is that way. We should try to relish each and every word which is about Krishna rather than finding fault. Finding fault is very easy job. Everyone is ready. But promoting, encouraging, empowering has taken a back seat. We should do that.
Prabhupada said truth should be always spoken.
Yes.
So if you are speaking truth, you are not finding a fault.
I am not finding a fault, but people are finding a fault.
No, if they speak truth, they are not finding fault. They are giving you some truth. So
That is again-
you have to accept that truth. What
Yes, that is true.
But if you think that he is finding fault in me, you are thinking in that manner, that is different.
Then again you have to say it in such a manner that person should not get hurt. Here it's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 that you should not hurt somebody. That is, you will get the purification of the Vak Shakti. Then whatever word you will utter, it will be fruitified. Because your words are not hurting anybody. But if you are always into the bad mood, bad mouth person, you will always pass on negativity to the surrounding people, and they will think, even after being Krishna consciousness, I am in not a good surrounding, because you are associating with the wrong person. You have to speak the truth, but in a manner that it will not hurt the person. So see, it is so sensitive not to hurt person, but here sometimes people just say anything. just say anything. They keep on doing bluff. They keep on cheating each another, and then also they want respect. So we should respect each other, love each other. We are very much close to Krishna because we are associating in His holy name, in His prasada. Prasada is also personification of Krishna only. So then again, it's for my purification. I myself have to find where I am entangled. Thank you. Hare Krishna.